associated with the tradition, we've created some rituals that are associated with the scientific method, as well as, you might say, kind of indigenous methods that are associated with sociology. Now, in some ways, that's a good thing because I think a tradition, for the most part, is something that you build upon.
Every time you look at theory, you see the current theorist you're studying talking about the history. So certainly, theoretically, we're a great tradition, a great conversation of what social structure is, going back to the distinction between the macro and the micro. We're a great tradition in that sense. So
we, generally speaking, use the same theories and methodology or derivations or permutations of those that we have for years and years. We're not as old a tradition as some other disciplines, history, for example, but I think sociology is indeed a tradition.
It's really kind of a way of thinking, it's a methodology, it's a way of going about the solution of problems, and that's the tradition. Sociology to me is what sociologists do. We have all had to answer it. You can think back when you were young and you think, okay, I want to be a sociologist. You went home and told your mother and your father, I want to be a sociologist, and they say, what's that? And then the second question is, of course, can you make a living doing that? But you came up with some kind of easy way of answering it so that it kind of sounded good to both you and your girlfriend, that sort of thing.
Well, sociology to me is a scientific discipline that engages in describing the elements of social interaction. And the most important part of it for me is essentially a social psychological aspect that deals with some of the micro aspects of how individuals interact together. And my feeling is that once I understand that, then I can understand more about how people interact in larger groups.
Sociology to me is a way to make sense of the world. When I teach sociology, I try and never teach anything that I don't agree with in terms of helping me make sense of the social world. And I particularly take C. Wright Mill's dictum of sociology is the intersection of social structure and biography, and which has become present in almost every textbook as the sociological imagination. So my use of sociology is very autobiographical. That is, when I try and make sense of religion or sport or general issues of social structure, the first thing that's driving me is my own interest in the topic, and then I try and communicate that to my students.
Well, I think sociologists are, as a discipline, we are in a unique position because of our interest in structure. There's really no other discipline that has as much a focus on structure, I think, as we do. It seems to me that over the course of my 40 years in the discipline, that's the one recurring element that I see in the field as a whole is our fairly unique ability to address issues of structure in terms of not so much the production of structure, although that certainly is important, but the consequences of structure.